Hey friends, I'm Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. I thought that was the last verse of the song. Welcome to Sim Sunday. 101 tricks and tips. Not tricks, there aren't 101 tricks. 101 tips in the simulator Velocidrone. I thought today was Monday. It is June 25th at 4:23 p.m. I don't know what happened. I did get up really early today, and so I guess my brain thought, and I was working on an edit, and I think my brain thought that since I had been awake for so long, that it must be Monday, and so I was just waiting until 10 o'clock. I would have streamed at 10 o'clock. Maggie called me and was like, "Are you not streaming down there? I haven't heard you." And I was like, "No, I don't stream till 10 tonight." And, you know, the conversation that you would assume happened at that point happened. I was like, okay, see you in a couple hours. So, yeah, sorry, guys. I feel like, I don't know. This happened once before, last year at some point, probably about a year ago. I remember this has happened one other time, where I thought something happened, and I thought Sunday was Monday, and I was waiting until 10 o'clock to stream. And I probably have text messages from you guys. I know that I have text messages from you guys. Yep, no live stream tonight. Oh, just Frank. Frank Nicholas is actually the only one that text messaged me. So my phone is on silent, and my notifications are off. So, yeah, sometimes I reply back to Frank. Oops. Yeah, sometimes I don't. I mean, you guys have seen it. Every single time the mic hasn't been on, right? Who has seen the longest? What's the longest I've ever gone with the mic turned off? I had a couple that were really long a long time ago. So you OG folks might have the advantage on this one. And I only found out about it from Maggie because she called. If you call me, my phone will actually make noise. As long as you're in my phone, right? Like unknown random numbers don't bust through. But yeah, my God, what a jackass. Make mistakes, friends. Try not to make the same mistakes twice. But, you know, in 2.5+ years of doing this, yeah, it happened in 2 times. It's not the end of the world, I guess. Oh, boy. You know, some days are better than others. In the chat, Cheap Bastard FPV was first. That's an FPV name I can get behind. MX Pickles, Fire Mike FPV, McConnell Studios, Danzilla, Terrible Earthwalker, Expander, Mr. Huggy, Chris Long, Maggie Schmidt. Maggie says you're welcome. Yes, thank you. Thank you, honey. And it was also when in that moment I also realized that she can hear me. I didn't think she could hear me. Which I've wondered before, because like I'll get really loud down here sometimes. But how's the layout of the house? I'm underneath the kitchen, and her office is diagonally that way. And that's good to know. If she's in there working on something important and I'm down here screaming, I don't want to be as insane as I usually am. But yeah, up until I don't know, 15 minutes ago, I didn't realize that she could hear me from up there. So yeah, good to know. Denzel, the Terrible, We Bleed FPV, Mr. Huggy, Northern Tier FPV. What's up, friends? If you want to talk to me directly in the chat, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV. If you do that, it'll light up in orange like this. This is my full-time job. If you want to support me on this crazy adventure, head over to CiottiFPV.com and just start clicking stuff, man. Just top to bottom, just click them all. Click them all. Your life will be immeasurably better. I'm not going to shill super hard because there's 14 people here because nobody knew that I was going to stream at whatever time I started streaming today. I did my normal thing, which is an at everyone on Patreon, but I think everybody has that shit blocked at this point, or muted rather. Not on Patreon, on Discord. And then I did a Patreon post, which emails, and then I did a Facebook post, which I'm sure nobody really sees. But yeah, small group of us here today probably, but we'll hang out. And my thought, I've been meaning to do this for a while, and so basically, if you go to my website and you hit the button for Fiverr, there's a couple of different gigs that I have on Fiverr. One of them is flight instruction. And to really do a good job with it, I have to like work with somebody for a period of time and like see what mistakes they're making and stuff like that. But there are things and tips and tricks that apply to most movements that we do that a lot of people don't know about. So yeah, if you guys have a trick that you're struggling with, or something that you see me do in a certain way that you don't know how to replicate it, I'm just gonna fly around for a little bit, and then you guys can pick stuff out that I'm doing that, like, yeah, you want to know how to do. And what's cool about Velocidrone doing it, like I've done that before on the tiny whoops in here, which I like that because in the real world things happen differently, and I know a lot of you guys are diving into the crazy powerful tiny whoops now, and so there is also a different timing with tiny whoops. But in Velocidrone you can get my stick overlay, and some people that really helps them. It doesn't help me. I don't do stick cam because I think we should learn tricks by the motion of the rig. And I mean, there's only 3 axes, right? Like, you can make things go left to right, you can make things go up and down, or you can make things go round and round. So yeah, I don't do the stick cam thing. Although, let's be honest, I really don't do the stick cam thing because wearing the camera on my chest is just silly. I don't want to do that. It's hot here. It's annoying. It's stupid. I would rather just fly and then never edit the footage. And so yeah, that was kind of my thought process with this. We've also got a little mailbag that we can dive into. But first, let's get caught up on chat. MX Pickle says it's Sunday. My Fire Mike says hello all. Dantil Terrible says must have been quite the Saturday night. Espander says why so late? I just thought it was Monday. Mr. Huggy says hello there. CiottiFPV, you're late. Northern Cheer says yo gang, allergies are better. I see. Been there. They suck. Man, I wish it was because a good reason, like I was having an allergic outbreak. But it was not. It was because I did the big dumb. Maggie says, I can't hear you, babe. Just listen to your streams in the background sometimes while I'm working. Oh my God. Oh, it's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. For someone like not in FPV to have any interest in this, in what I do, is kind of insane. And it's kind of the most flattering thing ever, right? Like, you guys I get, right? Like, you're getting something out of this. You're getting some knowledge. Like, you come here to be a better builder, a better tuner, a better pilot, whatever. A lot of you guys come here to hang out too. But, you know, when somebody that's not coming for the technical stuff comes by, it's like, oh, I really made it. We made it, friends. We made it. We done did it. Danzilla the Terrible says, how long do we wager till Maggie Schmidt becomes a ripper like one of us, CiottiFPV? Maggie has no interest in what we do. I mean, here's the main thing. Maggie's trying to, like, make this world, like, really make this world a better place. And she will. She's not trying to. She will. She's too busy with that for this nonsense. Like, this is, you know, we play and get... Look, as men, we can just play games. We just, you know, male privilege and all. Like, let's just be real with it. We can fly helicopters in parking lots. We can get away with that. These ladies that want to change shit, it's a 24-hour job. I can tell you from living with Hunting now for a year. They gotta work. They gotta work. And Maggie loves what she does. And like, yeah. In the same way that I love this, right? Like, I just want to do that. I only want to do this. Like, there was a big, long period of my life where I had a job, and then I came home and did the thing that, like, I was really passionate about and loved. One of the reasons that Maggie and I get along really well is that we've found something that we love so hard that we're willing to go all the way in on it and spend all of our time on it, right? And, like, not have a separate hobby. And, like, you know, it's... Everybody says, right, like, that's the dream, and, like, if you do what you love for a living, you'll never work in a day of life. That's stupid. Like, if you do what you love for a living, you work every day of your life, sometimes even harder. A lot of the times even harder. But it's not that it's not worth it, but it's like, it's not all sunshines and rainbows, but it's also not all, vomit and farts. But yeah, it's cool to be with somebody that like understands that and is doing that themselves. I see the value to it both ways, though. I loved when I had a job that I didn't hate, and I made really good money, and then I did FPV after work. That was great. That was a great period of my life. This is also a great period. So, yeah. I mean, realistically, every day is great, right? Like, if we have enough money to fly FPV, every day is pretty fucking great. Mental illness, one of the really annoying things about it is that, like, really makes that so much more difficult to realize on a lot of days. But we won't go down that goddamn rabbit hole. Speaking of, over on Facebook, I'm now the admin again, now that I have my account back, for FPV Therapy, a group where those of us that struggle with some mental illness shit hang out and tell each other how much things suck. Not really. We don't post a lot in there, but when somebody does post in there, it's real stuff. And if you have any interest in mental illness, like maybe you have someone in you definitely have someone in your friend and family group that has some form of mental illness, because more than 1 in 10 people have it. So yeah, more than 10 people. Yeah, if you want to, even if you don't suffer from anything, if you just want to learn a little bit more about it, come on over. It's called FPV Therapy. It's over on Facebook. There's a link on CiottiFPV.com. Yeah, like I said, it's not a super active group. Welcome to mental illness. It doesn't make us want to go into a group and post about how awful we feel. But it's a spot where a bunch of us have shared some real shit that, you know, even if you're not struggling, we'll kind of get you into the shoes of people that are. And then when you've got that one friend that keeps blowing you off for big events or something like that, does it again, you'll be like, wait, maybe he has soul-crushing anxiety. And then maybe you'll talk to him about it, and they'll be like, oh my God, thank you. I never talk about it because it kind of tells you not to talk about it. It kind of tells you that you're the only one. It's really good like that. So, yeah, come on over, yo. Riot9 with a $4.20 Australian super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, love your face, mental health be damned. Hell yeah. Denzel the Terrible says, no, we got that. McConnell Studios says, there's a lot of fun here aside from FPV, just saying. For sure. But you guys know what I'm saying, right? Like, when somebody that when I talk FPV, it's basically the fucking teacher from Charlie Brown is still willing to sit and listen. That's pretty rad. Mr. Huggy says, CiottiFPV and everybody else, it's best to be doing something. It's best to be doing something you do as a job rather than have a job that you hate and all the bad emotions affects people's job that you don't like. Right. Mr. Huggy says it's missing a like. Yeah, you know, I the best case scenario the best case scenario is to find something. Is to find a job. Here's realistically, it's to find a job that you enjoy somewhat. You don't love it, but you enjoy it, where you make a lot of money. This is my opinion. And then you take that money and you do that job for 8 hours, hopefully, or 7 hours a day, if you know what I mean, or 6 to be honest. And then you do something else with all that extra money. I think, I don't know. It's that's hard. I had that for a while in my life, and it was really fun. I think it kind of breaks the day up a little bit. Do I go out of focus when I lean back like that? Is that focus so shallow that I do? It is. I gotta roll forward a little bit. Yeah. Unfortunately, when you have I can speak from experience, when you have a job that you hate, even if you have a hobby as good as FPV that you love, it's not enough. And that sucks because a lot of people hate their jobs. I don't have the answer. I don't have any of the answers, guys. None of them. But Fire Mike with a $2 super chat. He says, snowblowers coming tomorrow for Mobula 7. You mean these? No, balls. You ruined it, Fire Mike. This was going to be the last thing that I opened in the mailbag. Now it has to be the first because you said it. Mailbag from tinywhoop.com. 0702, right? 0802, 25,000 kV, 1.5 millimeter shaft snowblowers. So I would rather have gotten, I'll be honest, I would rather have gotten the Sugano iGao 27,000 kV motors, just because they are a higher kV and you just motor limit it down. I would always rather be a little bit higher kV than I need. What I found with those motors, you guys got to see some of the footage that I shot on the Jungle Gyms with that rig, the 75 rig, the Jungle Gym Basher rig, right? That build is the build that I based the 75 millimeter Tiny Whoop setup for Joshua's website on. It rails with those motors all the way turned up. these, so I'm now looking at building a Fractal 75 walk snail tiny whoop, right? We've been talking about that. And the, do I not have the TPU for it? I might not have the TPU for it. And so it's going to have 6 point something extra grams of weight if I can get the heat sink off. I have to try to. I bought one of the extra light cameras for it. Maybe I won't take the heat shield off. Maybe I'll just put the light camera on it. The light camera is going to sit on the Fractal board really nice. So yeah, that's going to be a drift car chasing / just walk snail 75mm rig, and I was kind of thinking maybe put these on it instead of the 27,000s to get me a little bit of throttle resolution back, right? Like what we did with the analog RC chasing tiny whoop. We went from 30 on that Fractal 65 frame, right? We went from 30,000 kV tiny whoop motors to the 28,500 Weebleed FPV motors, and I definitely did notice a difference in throttle resolution. Unfortunately, I forgot to, what I really wanted to do was motor limit the 30,000 kV motors down to 28,500 kV, fly it a bunch, and then put the 28,500 kV motors on it at 100% motor limiting and see if I could feel a difference. But even if I had done that, I bet you there would have been too long of a gap between changing the motors, changing the throttle limit. No, I guess I could do it at the drift car place. I mean, I can still do that, right? But yeah, no, the better throttle resolution came from the fact that I had everything at 100%. So I just lost power, and when you lose power, the small motions make a smaller change in the throttle throw. So yeah, I don't know. But here's the other side of it. With the walk snail setup and it being in the Fractal frame, it's going to be heavier and it's going to be blocking more thrust. So I might actually, I think maybe I'm going to put these, the 27,000 kV motors on it, and then I'll use these 25,000s on an analog Jungle Gym Ripper. I'll basically just put that rig back together. I don't know where it went. Did I take it apart? I didn't part it out, did I? No! Here it is. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I put it on the 0603s. Oh, that'll be cool. Yeah. We'll get this thing back up in the air. I'll find some new jungle gyms. So yeah, we'll put the snow blowers on this guy because I don't want to destroy this is just gonna kill. Well, and then, oh yeah, this is great. 25,000 kV. 26,000 kV. So 25,000 kV 802s, 26,000 kV 603s, which is slightly less stator volume. This is going to be, and I'll back-to-back these. I'll fly a bunch of batteries on this, and then I'll swap the motors and put the throttle limit to even out the throttle. And yeah, hopefully feel a difference between 603s and 802s. Am I the only one that's like excited by that? Be honest. You're excited by that. Oh. I sure hope so. Yeah, that'll be a cool little comparison. And I haven't flown this thing enough. The whole jungle gym ripping thing, like I cannot recommend it enough. It's really, really cool. You're gonna love it. I'm also kind of curious what the durability is like with this McStinky canopy. So yeah, that'll be cool. I'm gonna put that in the little on deck spot. Maybe we'll do that this Wednesday. At the very least, what I'll do on Wednesday is fly it around here. Frank says 603 18 volume, 802 16 volume. I never did the math. Jesse said that 603s were smaller stator volume than 802, and I just said, oh wow, okay. But I never did the math. Is that true? How is it a shouldn't it be a crazy decimal? volume of cylinder calculator. In case anybody wants to compare two different motor sizes, this is how you do it. It's super simple. So we're going to do it in this case, 603 versus 802. All right, so you just literally type in, like, volume of a cylinder calculator into Google, right? And it gives you this thing. Radius, it gives you a little picture here. That is half the diameter, so that is half the big number. So we're going to test a 603, so half of 6 is 3, and then height is the full number, as you can see here by the little picture, so 3. So there we go. For the 0603, it's 84.82, and then for the 0802, half of 8 is 4, and then 2 tall, 100.53. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Right, 9 says Earth is... Oh, that's volume of a cube. Right, the other one was 80-something, wasn't it? I forget already. Well, it was just 3.3. 4.2 versus 3.3. Yeah, okay. Yeah. 3.3 is in 0603. So yeah, 0603 has slightly smaller. And then, so let's go down to 702. We might as well run the full train. 7, half of 7 is 3.5, 02, and now we're down to 76.97 volume. Did I explain that properly? But, as we've been talking about lately, the volume of the stator doesn't tell the whole story. The stator height is going to do more work than the stator width. So the 603, even though it has a smaller stator volume, which is actually nice because that makes it lighter, the 603 has a 3mm tall stator versus a 2mm tall stator on the 702 and the 802. So even though the 802 has more stator volume, it has 50%. This is what really interests me. It has 50% less stator height. And the vertical part of the winding is the only part of the winding that pulls the magnet. Right? Like, as the stator gets bigger, the vertical part of the winding doesn't really change. It just goes farther out. Whereas when you change the height, you get a longer magnet too, right? You get a longer magnet that pulls. So I've been dying to know if there's a chance that the 603s, of course, when on the wider motor, you know, the stator windings get wider out, and then there's more mechanical torque for sure, absolutely. But with tiny whoops, I think we're still kind of underpowered. So it's all about just getting as much power as possible, as long as the motor stays cool, which the 603s seem to. But yeah, welcome to the weeds, my friends. Who followed me? Be honest, who followed me through all that? Who was right there with me the whole time? These are pretty cool. This is new old stock. FPV has officially been around long enough that we've got new old stock showing up. In like the back of the warehouse, Jesse found some of these old school Beta 65 Pro frames, which apparently are unbreakable. I haven't even opened one up yet. I figured I would give you beautiful bastards the actual first impression. I think they're just very gummy. They're not that gummy. I assumed that I would go like this and it would just just right, because if you make plastic it's really soft, it's unbreakable. But this is fine. This feels fine. So what I think I would like to do is two sort of identical builds on this. Well, no. It's hard to be like, yo, it's like, because what happens? I do the test and this frame is better. It's like, yo, everybody, this frame that you can't get is better. Nobody followed me. Great. Thanks, guys. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. It's got what is interesting about this is it's got these little, there you go. It's got these little things here. And these things would be really nice on a fractal build, because when the fractal build flips over, it sits completely on the carpet, and the blades sit really low. So I it's like I feel weird cutting up, you know what I mean? Cutting up a frame, but I did get 2 of them. So I've got this one that I'm not going to cut up, and I'll save it. Maybe someday I'll fly it, but this one's getting cut up. These are why I bought this, to be really honest. Like I'm totally happy with the Meteor frames, but I bought this because I saw these little things here, and I thought, ooh, that would be perfect for the fractal. So I am kind of curious to run it though. So maybe, not maybe, I'm gonna take this out of the box and I'm gonna put it over there, because something I've noticed with the Meteor frames pretty recently, and I don't think I've talked about this yet, I might have talked about it once. Something I've noticed with when you put 702s on the Meteor 65 frame, the 702 is like, it's just built short. They made the stator, the base of the stator, I think a little bit shorter than some 802s. So the 702 with a Gemfan biblade prop pushed all the way down on the shaft to the top of the motor. The very outside trailing edge of each blade is really close to the supports that come up and meet with the smooth duct. And somebody was talking about this on Facebook a while ago. They said that they switched to, I don't remember if they switched to a different frame or if they switched to a different motor, so that the propeller would sit a little bit higher, because they noticed that when they were bumping into things and the duct would compress, the propeller would come around and hit one of those posts that it's already really close to and stop. And they noticed that, like, every time they bumped into something, the quad would spin and go out of control, versus their old setup, they could just bounce off of stuff a lot more often. The propeller would come smoothly around and it would stay on the nice smooth duct and get out of the way, I guess. But like, I didn't think too much about it, because as soon as you push the duct a fraction of a millimeter farther than that, the propeller's not going to slide around and it's going to stall out anyway. But then I started to try to like notice it in my flying. Like, does every time I bump into something, this thing spiral out of control? And I didn't notice it, and I was like, all right, so that was just a thing, you know. But maybe with this frame, maybe the supports are a little bit lower or something, and we can test that. I also just noticed that this frame sits the battery down low. The Meteor frames have the battery pulled up like that. They have the battery pulled up so that the lowest possible point are the bases of the motors, which is really nice because it lands perfectly flat everywhere. With this style where the battery is the low point, it lands and bobbles. So, I mean, like, trying to land this on the fan while it's moving upstairs, I probably won't be able to pull that off. I haven't pulled that off with these yet, and I do have those foam fetuses now. I should get back on that. Do me a favor, guys. Can you bug me on Whoop Wednesday? Can somebody bug me to just make fun of me for not having done the fan landing yet? And yeah, everybody talk shit. Talk me into it, yo. But yeah, this will be cool to try this out. Next time I have to take one of those analog whoops apart, I'll put it back together in this frame. So the other thing about the battery being down the low point, that makes me want to put the EX 0802 30,000 kV motors on this. That is the lightweight 802 that magnets spit out of when you run the Meteor frame and you slap down on stuff all the time. The motor bolts are the low point, so they slam down. those EX motors are known to spit magnets out the bottom. And so, yeah, this is the perfect frame for those EX motors, which is kind of great because those motors have been they're awesome. They're an 802 that's almost as light as a 603, so they're kind of the perfect motor to finally to figure out if 603 or 802 are the way to go on 65 millimeter rigs. But I think we already know the answer to that, so I haven't really been motivated to test that. But now we have a perfect frame for those 802 EX motors, and that's cool. I like that. Those motors are currently on a Meteor frame. I knew it. And so yeah, we can get them off of this frame. I don't fly these motors a lot because I don't want to destroy them. So putting them onto a frame where they're not going to take as much abuse will get me to use them again. And like the more that I fly these different rigs, the more I'm able to like figure out. And I got to be honest, chasing the RC drift cars, I'm really starting to notice some differences in these rigs. Chasing something like it, doing the full throttle shit and the freestyle stuff like we do around here, horsepower, the difference that more power makes in the flight characteristics is so much more evident when you're flying the different setups, that it's hard to be able to tell any like subtle stuff. Like it's like a bullhorn that's just blasting at 1,000 decibels, and like you're trying to hear the subtleties, but you can't because like one motor makes more power, and god damn does that feel better. And it makes like everything better. It makes the prop wash handling better. It makes all these things improve. So yeah, kind of interesting. Oh, you know what though? That means I would have to take those gorgeous purple ducts off of the fractal. I don't know if I can. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. You guys vote. Hold on. You don't answer the poll yet because you don't know. I have to explain it first. You could probably see where this is going. But clear, new old stock, purple. All right. I swear to God, if anybody answers that poll before I explain it, I'm gonna just delete the poll and come to your house and eat you, your face. These are the hand-dyed Tiny Whoop ducts. Look how good that looks, right? Purple and red. Come on now. And then this is the new. Oh, here, you guys will get to really look at this frame. I'll give it to you all the way. That's right, I said it. Clip it. I don't give a fuck. Do it. You won't. Yeah. So look how good that looks. Come on. It's got to stay like that, right? Like that's the hottest looking thing ever. Like I feel proud flying that. But look at these raised bits on this frame. Look at that. Right? So like when it flips over, oh look, it sits up on the antenna. Oh yeah, it's totally staying in the purple. But yeah, look how close the propellers are to the ground, right? So if there's like anything sticking up on the ground, it blocks the propellers. But not true, because look, the rear ones are sitting up on the antenna, and as long as the rear ones are free, you can just turtle mode it back over like that. But yeah, I mean, wouldn't it make more sense to have those little raised bits? There's something else I'm kind of curious about. What's the thickness, or what's like the height, the overall height of the duct? I guess I think I'm gonna cut this up anyway. wonder if these ducts are any like lower or anything. I'm not. Here, hold on. I'll try to do it through OBS. So like the, oh wow, look at the difference in the, okay. Look at the difference in the thickness of the top part of the duct. See that? Wow, okay. That's a big difference. But what I'm also curious about is the overall height. It looks like it's the same overall height. So that means that this part, in theory, is going to be... okay. This kind of makes me want to build, do freestyle builds with this frame now. I wonder if it's, I bet you it's heavier than the Meteor 65 frame though. But, yeah. I'll put it on the 802s and see how it is. Actually, you know what? I did save the best for last. The snowblowers were not the best of this order. The snowblowers were the most expensive thing in this order. But sometimes the most expensive thing is not the best thing. And in this case, that is the situation here. Look, Nightwing wrote me a note. He says, "Yo, what up, Ciotti? Sorry we out of the clear canopies, so I refunded them and gave you 2 gray ones for free. Thank you for all that you do, Nightwing." Guys over at Tiny Whoop are the greatest. So yeah. The reason that I did the Tiny Whoop order was for the clear canopies. Like the other stuff that I got in the order was just to get me free shipping. And like I wanted to do experiments with it and blah 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 blah. Now clear's not heavier. It just looks better. I have a build that's all clear stuff, so it just looks better on that build. So yeah, here's the 2 gray canopies, which is fine. I have a bunch of these, but totally cool. Actually, those are going to go in giveaways. Since they sent those to me for free, I'm going to send them to free for one of you guys. So those are going to go in the giveaways. This is a thing of paper streamers. What? That's strong. How the hell did they make that strong out of this paper? These are Tiny Whoop streamers. This isn't even the best thing. This is a pretty good thing though. This is a little container of these tiny little streamers that apparently you can tie to the back of the nice Danzilla. Okay, so you can. I see how this works. I should not have opened this. I regret this. I should have definitely left this together. It's too late now. We're all the way in. Yeah, they kind of sit in here like that. I had to rip them out of here. But yeah, these tiny little streamers that apparently you can tie to the back of the Tiny Whoop. And then you go and fly around. And if there's multiple people, you chase each other. And you try to get the streamer. And I'm sure it gets tangled up in your motors. But who cares? Because they're Tiny Whoops. So yeah, tinywhoop.com sells these little things. Two different setups of these. I got the big pack for like, I don't know, 20 bucks. But I don't know what to do now because they're all rolled up nicely and they're sitting on my desk in front of me. I guess I need a container to put these in right away or else they will go absolutely everywhere. I have one of these things. Maybe this is... Do I have another bigger container? This isn't going to be big enough. But I can get some of them in here. Oh boy. This is thrilling stuff right here. That's what this is. After the live stream, I'm going to sit here for way longer than I should doing this. Wrapping these little guys up a little bit more nicely than they currently are. Because they're so close, right? Like, if they'd unspooled 10 feet, I'd be like, nope, hopeless. But they're unspooled like, I don't know, 3 inches. So, this is one of the ones that was unspooled more. So I'll just, you know, hang out here on Monday. It's Monday afternoon right now. Apparently. and just spin these little boys up, and I'll have this neat and tidy little case with a bunch of these tiny whoop streamers. And then when Patrick sees it, he'll be like, there it is again. There it is again. That OCD got him. Got him. I'm actually not, I've never been diagnosed with OCD. I feel like I just have OCD tendencies. Here's the real situation, though. Doing this is extremely meditative. And I find a lot of joy in that. And I'll never forget when Maggie told me that there are, or maybe I heard this on Dr. K, but there are forms of meditation that are cleaning. Like, that is an actual form of meditation, cleaning your space. Because the process of cleaning, you're, just sort of being in the now, staring at the tiny whoop ribbon, streamer, rather. And what do you think meditation is, friend? You're just easing your brain down and doing something like this while not live streaming is very meditative. That's why, like, if you can find a chore that you don't hate doing, be honest with yourself. You kind of love doing it. Like, I kind of love doing the dishes. I don't know. There's just a sensory thing, and it's you're completing a task, and I don't know. It's just nice. So yeah, I got that coming for a little bit after the live stream, which I'm really excited about. I gotta be honest. But the star of the show, for sure, quite possibly the greatest thing that I've bought in my entire FPV experience, is an orange Sour Patch Kid. No, it is this. It's this itty bitty little bag of handmade Santa hats. They're not really Santa hats. They're just, what are these called? Like snow hats with a little bit. Holding it up to the camera is even fucking funnier. Jesse has them. They're a couple bucks. And I swear to God, if you guys don't buy them, I'm going to just destroy you all. Because this is the kind of thing that it won't be on there for long. Like, when this sells out, it's probably gone. So, look, there's a light blue one. And then here's a little purple one. Come on, man. Come on. Come on now. You cannot tell me that in your life, the thing that you need more than anything else, as soon as possible, is a little hat like this for your tiny whoop. Come on. Come on. So, the game becomes who can do the longest dive with the Santa hat on their tiny whoop and not lose it. I mean, that doesn't really work. Although I bet you this is hell aerodynamically. You could just glue it down, right? Oh man, you know what's interesting about this? You know what's really interesting about this? There could be some kind of a fun contest with this hat, and the goal is to keep the hat on. So when you're cruising forward, you're fine. When you're doing power loops, you're fine until you cut the throttle here. Right? So you always have to be on throttle. So that should be a fucking iGow. That would be like, imagine that as like an iGow finale. Like, the last round is who can do the best freestyle run. Because you got to change. There's so many movements you can't do. Who can do the best 10 seconds of freestyle and keep the hat on? So they have to run a GoPro right, line of sight, and then show it, take off, do the flight, and then come back and it's still on. Look at it! He goes right here. God, I was so tempted to buy 1,000 of them, but yeah, if that's an IGO challenge, I'm going to E6000 that head on. Yeah, so there has to be something in the rule. Well, what sucks about it is you have to have a canopy that runs the antenna out the top, right? Like a regular canopy, it just falls. I mean, I guess you could like glue a pin to the top or something like that, right? But yeah, and I mean most canopies have a hole on the top that you can run a linear antenna out for that. But yeah, that'd be cool, right? Is it just me? It's just me? No. Come on now. Look at that. Is it just me? It better not just be me. You guys have a soul, right? You can still appreciate cute things, can't you? You're secure enough in your manhood to be that, right? You guys are woke as fuck. Come on now. You're allowed to love it. Oh my god, just this is what's going to be sitting next to me on my desk. And you know what? Every day is going to be a little bit better because of this. I'm going to look over at that and I'm going to be like, well, you know, life ain't too bad. Come on. Danzilla the Terrible, I forget how much they are, but just go to the Tiny Whoop website right now. I cannot imagine that they will be around very long. Oh, and look, that's right. I got the, this is how much of a massive nerd I am. So the clear rig, so this is the rig where I really need want the clear canopy again for. I broke my clear canopy. Yeah, this is the all clear rig. And look, the motors are the light blue Moon Travelers. So I got him a little light blue hat! On this, though, I don't have an antenna sticking out the top, so it's just going to sit. It's just going to balance on his little dumb head when he's over on the shelf. I'm going to do that right now, actually. Oh, God. But yeah, I need the damn clear canopy. Zotek from Weebleeds, I believe, said that he ordered some of the clear canopies. So 6 to 8 months from now, when they arrive from China. Although I bet you he gets quicker ship times than anyone else in the world. You can also so here's what it looks like with the McStinky. Just in case you were wondering what does it look like on a McStinky mount. And that's I know there were like 400 people that were thinking that question just now. You can actually use it as a camera protector on the McStinky mount here. So double protection. Somebody want to clip a part of this and send it to Jesse for me? So yeah, you can straight up just use it as a camera protector, or this could be how you convert your McStinky mounted Tiny Whoop into a line of sight rig. All you need to do to change it into a line of sight rig is to buy a little Santa hat. It's not a Santa hat. What are these hats called? Snow hats? I feel like there should be a specific name for the snow hats that have a ball on top. Is it a ball hat? I guess that would be a hat that we put on our balls. And if you can put this on your balls, go to the doctor. They should be bigger than that. A toque? Tell me it's not called a toque. Right 9 says Santa beanie. Beanie? Fat Albert vibes, yeah. So yeah, you can... we talk some shit on here, don't we? Yeah, I'm so horrified that I thought today was Monday. What a jackass. God damn. It's, what's funny is that it makes me think, it makes me kind of realize that the amount of time, my days, I can tell what day is what by like how long I've been working and like when I was working. Like some days I work in the morning, some days I work in the afternoon, some days like Yeah, that's interesting. Because that's what happened, right? Like, I woke up super early today, and I had been working for many hours. Um, and and so my brain was just like, oh yeah, it's not dark out, it must be Monday. You stream at 10. Whereas on normal Sundays I wake up later. I wake up at like 11 or 12 sometimes, and I can only do a couple of things before live stream time. So it's interesting that my brain has like adapted in some weird way to instead of looking at the time. You know, a lot of there was some weirdness that happened when I turned all the notifications off on my phone. But overall, it was a net positive. But you know, life's imperfect. Tiny Whoop always sends such cool stickers. This is an awesome little Nightwing sticker. I hate to pull off his old sticker, but man, this one's even cooler. Maybe I'll put it right on top of the old one. Yeah, man. Order some stuff from Tiny Whoop. Jesse's such a cool dude. And he's done so much for FPV. Like, that dude works tirelessly. So yeah, there you go. There's mailbag. Let's do some flying, yo! Discord, and we're gonna go to Velocidrone. Right 9 says, shirt of the day, NCL, I'm losing around. NCL is National Cycling League, and this is my staff shirt, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah, when I was working that event in Miami Beach, they gave me this because, yeah, I was on their staff, and that's pretty fucking cool. I think so. Could just be me. Probably just me. CMYK says, stack those stickers like it's your registration. Come on, Velocidrone, let's do it. Me and you. Oh no, it took up my whole screen again. Oh, but this time I kind of remembered what to do. Do me a favor, guys. Tell me how stuttery Athix says, celebrate the new Nano Mr. Tiny Whoop 2. Oh yeah, right. God, that's right. Jesse's little family just got one human being bigger. They had a baby. And yeah, so place an order so that he has more work to do. And while you're at it, congratulate him. Let's all inundate him with work. Because he'll certainly need the money. Alright, here we go. Let's get some... Or so the story goes, at least. Let's get some... let's get some action happening here. Saltwater for strings. Let me really quickly go here and type that in. I just need to do this while I'm thinking about it. There we go. Is that it? No, that ain't it. I need to put Geo Wolf in. It's a great song that I'm obsessed with at the moment, and I would like to do an edit with, but I'm trying to find the footage for it. There it is. Okay, so found that. Don't play it, SoundCloud, please. Okay, good. All right, so we got that. Come on, Velocidrone. Jeez. Oh, nope, there it is. It's just waiting for me. I would really like to be able to shrink the screen down, though, please. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that, sir. Here we go! And we're going to take the glide. Oh, what happened? Why did it do that? Why'd you do that? Stop it! Velocidrone, what are you doing? Yeah, screw it. Let's just do it. Here we go. Spotify's all up in my face. There we go. I need that. I need this. There's the chat. Okay, now I can see everybody. Right 9 says, turn on pilot names and settings before you start. Main menu. Good idea. Options. Voice announcements. Hide my screen settings. Maybe it's in here. Quality level. Player indicators on. Third person only. No, always on. What else we got here? My mouse pointer indicator. No. Birds and butterflies. What? Do they all fly away when we come near them? Camera draw distance low. Yeah, I think I'm doing this for performance reasons. Fisheye, no. High quality water, no. High quality trees, yes. Motion blur off. Shadow quality low. Shadows hardens off shadows. 640, 480, fast, full screen. Yeah. All right, cool. Multiplayer, name of the room is going to be CiottiFPV, as always. And we are going to go to... Okay. I was not running it at this low of a quality. This looks awful. Let's try 1280 by 720. What? I didn't change that. That's weird. Interesting. I think I might have accidentally hit the button to change the quality level during the game. They have these simple settings here. 1280 by 720. Let's see if it's still on there. 1280 by 720. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's try that. I don't remember it looking quite that bad. Okay. Yeah. This is much more readable. Okay. Yeah. This is. I can actually read the text here now. So. Phonics says, "What did I miss? I forgot to live stream. That's what. I just forgot about you guys. I was just off gallivanting. Let's go somewhere new. Let's go to the... Oh, let's do the Shipport. Yeah. Cool. Street League. Okay. Street League course. It's not about to look, it's about the fields. Look at this. Holy crap. All right, let's see if it'll even run. Yeah, it looks all right. That was odd. All right, cool. So, hey, in the chat, what tricks do you guys struggle with? Or... Ooh, that's weird. Ooh, that's really cool, actually. That's a... check this out. That's a different... So this is going to be a Matty flip, but we're trying to hit a vertical gate. Oh, shit. Can I do this on the newbie drone gates? Can I do this on the newbie drone gates? So if I'm up above, right? So you're flying here. You're flying here. You go past it, and then up and through it. It's very different than a Matty flip. Usually with a Matty flip, you just fire it out the bottom. Like, here's a Matty flip. You come down like this, and you just hammer the throttle here, and you just throw it backwards, right? This is different because we need to throw it backwards, but we also want to throw it up. Actually, no, we don't want to throw it backwards. We only want to throw it up. Oh, that's tough. That's a very different... All right, well, so this is actually a great example. Let's talk about with... I mean, since we're doing it as a Matty flip, we're just gonna talk about Matty flips. The magic of... Man, that's even more blind than a regular Matty flip. So the magic of Matty flips is nothing more than when you apply the throttle. So we're gonna do this as a Matty flip here. And wait, let me give you a stick overlay. Hold on. Okay. I want you to just watch my throttle. With your peripheral vision, you'll see everything else, but just watch when the throttle comes on. For a traditional Matty flip, you wait until right about here, and that's where you get the throttle, and that both, it stops you from falling, but it also sends you backwards to get you out of the Matty flip. And then a lot of times, so we'll do it again real quick. And then a lot of times you just kind of turn around. A lot of Matty flips end up like looking like something like this. Not like that. I didn't get that right. Matty flips are actually kind of hard to get out of. They're like, you do the initial move, it's like, oh wow, you came down backwards, and a lot of times it's like, well, now what? You can go do it again, but so you come up here, hammer it like that. Dropping too much altitude. Come on now. Come on down. And a lot of times it's something like that, you know what I mean? Like you'll flat yaw spin out of it. And so yeah, it's all about the when you put the throttle on, and it's way easier than you would think. Now I want you to look at what the camera, so what's on the screen, is looking at, right? So like the whole screen. But what I want you to pay attention to, like right now, I'm looking at 2/3 sky on the top, 1/3 land on the bottom, basically. Now I'm looking at all sky. Now I'm looking at all ground, right? Like the camera's pointing straight down right now. So this is what it looks like when the camera's pointing straight up. This is somewhere in the middle. That's straight down. And you're going to hear it. You're going to hear when I get on the throttle. And I want you to just notice what the camera is looking at. Where is the camera pointing? Is it pointing straight up, 10 degrees back, 20 degrees back, 90 degrees back, which would be like level, like right now? Ready? I'm going to tell you when I go full throttle. And now is when you go full throttle. So it's looking straight up. It's looking absolutely straight up at the sky, and that's it. That's all you need to know to do a Matty flip. You just roll over the obstacle, and then you just keep pitching forward. Pitch forward the same amount, same amount, same amount, same amount, same amount. All sky, hammer the throttle. And that was like a super exaggerated example where I let it fall really hard. Basically what's happening is when you look straight up, the thrust is at a 45-degree angle. See the direction of travel with the thrust there? Hold on. So when you do that, when you're looking up at the sky, it's gonna catch your downward fall. It's gonna kill your forward momentum, and it's gonna start sending you backwards. That's and forward momentum is another big part of the Matty flip. Yeah, game audio is low. That's right, because I just have it going through the speakers. All right. So how much forward momentum you come into it with is also really important. If you're going really fast and you come in, oh god. Doing Matty flips, but I can't fly past the pole without ramming into it. If you're coming in going really fast, well, I still gave it a big hoof of throttle, but the faster, oh god, the faster you come into it, you have to kill that forward momentum. See how I'm not going back? I really blasted the throttle, but I was barely going back there, right? Versus if you come into it really slow, you're going to get really thrown backwards if you give it a lot of throttle. So just be quick on the throttle when you come into the maneuver slowly. Technically, you could just not go full throttle, but I find that doing things with full throttle and using timing is a little bit more repeatable than trying to like, oh, I'm going to do this with 70% throttle, because if your hand's in a different position or something like that, you can potentially give 80% throttle instead of 70%. Here's a good way to salvage a power loop. If I want to power loop this whole thing, All right, so I want to power loop from this gate here all the way back. Usually you would do that if you didn't give it enough to this gate, right? So I want to do this mega power loop. Here's a cool way when you come up short to hide it. And I overshot it a little bit there, but you guys saw it, right? Just face fucking first. Face first. We'll do it again here. I'll specifically come up short this time. I keep doing it too much. Hold on. I'll specifically come up short this time. I made it. Yeah, that's a way to hide it, and it almost looks like you're doing it on purpose. You can't short it like that, though. You know what happens a lot of time? One of the big problems people have with power loops is they go on the throttle too early. And then... that's the other alternative, is to pitch forward, but it's kind of ugly. Just face first. Just, I don't know, I guess I thought the wires would move. Most people go full throttle now, and then they come off the throttle. And they come around and they haven't gained any rearward distance, but they've gained all kinds of height. It's because you're putting the throttle on too early. With power loops, the super secret is similar to Matty Flips in that when you see all the sky, that's when you want to be full throttle. Will it make it? Not quite. So, yeah, what's kind of great is it's just the reverse of the Matty Flip. You wait to go full throttle. You wait, now! And then you can throw it back all the way across the map. We overshot it. Alright, so let's put it all together and we'll get it right. So there you go. Let's get it wrong. But we'll save it. There you go. So that's what it looks like to properly save a power loop in that method. Usually there's not as tall of a vertical thing. So like normally when you're doing power loops, like in the real world, you're doing them over like an awning or something like that. Let's find something. Let's find something. So we're trying to power loop from... so we're trying to power loop this thing. And we're trying to do it really tight. Didn't make it. See what I'm saying? Oh, well, lengthways. Here we go. Here we go. This is it. So, you want to do it tight, but you get it too short. And if you time it right, it looks better. Sometimes I get them really good. Okay, that was ridiculous. That's what it looks like when you get on the throttle too late. Can't believe I just did that twice in a row. Ugh! This is such a low thing, and this quad in here has... you know what? Hold on. I gave this quad a whole bunch more power, and to keep up with the drift cars, and now it's just crazy. Like, it's just way more power than I want. Propeller power, 100%. Oh no, it's 5150. It's on a big gnarly propeller. Let's put it down onto a 5040, and I'm gonna even take some power out here. No! There we go. Alright, let's see. There we go. That's still a little bit more. And you can kind of catch it, you can even catch it on the ledge there. My big trick is like to just try to always have the subject in view. So you want to rotate it, you want to like minimize the amount of time that you're looking up at the sky. Hold on. So Sky's boring. You know, we want to look at the subject, and then snap it back around to try to get the view back on the subject. I wish I had a big... Okay. So here's the power loop. From this gate, back over the... Oh no, over this thing. Yeah, here it is. Okay. We got this. Oh, it's not a straight shot. That's okay. We can still get it. So up. And see, you put that little pop in just because you're going to be staring up at the sky again. We don't want that. This is more lined up for this thing. This is my original idea. See, and so you can do that, right? If you come up short, you can do that, and then you've got a rotation. But like, one of the things I love about power loops is that you're just focusing on the pitch axis. And it's nice to kind of take roll out of the equation for a minute. Like it almost kind of gives your viewer a little bit of a break in a way, because like people are used to not having the horizon line broken, right? Like every show ever has cameras on a gimbal, so like normies are used to seeing this stuff, right? Mavic type footage, gimbaled footage. So when we take off and start going, isn't this cool? Look what I can do. Isn't that insane? It's super cool. They vomit. Couldn't decide what I wanted to do there. So yeah, it's nice to give them a little break sometime, and just do a bunch of pitch stuff all at once. I tried to get up over it. Oh, okay, there was no luck there. Oh, okay, well, it caught up with me. Hold on, let's just play for a minute. Oh, come on. Hold on. Let's do this properly. This is a hell of a map. Captain Cannoli with a $20 super chat and an excellent question that I'm going to read in a second. But first, let me just get into this for a second. Hold on, 1 second. Where are the things? Where there it is. Found it. Okay. Let's get a little jam going. Oh my God, why? Okay, I'm gonna fly to this song. We're gonna fly angry. I was kind of flying angry anyway. All right, I'm gonna give you guys straight up desktop audio. Not that song. Yo, that's getting is that getting stuttery as hell, or is it just me? That's starting to look shitty. Hold on. I gotta bring the audio back. I'm just gonna skip a couple songs. We'll find a good one. That's fun. I don't usually like really focus like that. That's cool. That's very fun. Let's do one more.
Somewhere you some way tonight. I you some way tonight. I you some way tonight. I you some way.
It's super fun. Super fun. Damn. Alright, cool. So, what did you guys see in there that you don't understand? And I'll give you some more tips. 6S1 says, try a Barani, half power loop, half inverted yaw, half Manny. Too many halves. 3 halves don't work. Do they? Practically says, we don't hear any game audio. I have it turned way down compared to the music. That was back when I was talking over it. Yep. CMYK says, inverted yaw spins and Rubik's Cubes. Rubik's Cubes are bad. Don't do them. Inverted yaw spins is all about where you put the horizon. Somebody knocked me off the thing. But first, we're going to talk about Captain Cannoli's question here. What can I do to my rates or tune to help with slow flying wobbles or bump steer? Like around center stick feels loose. Rates actual 0.8, 800, 0.4 expo. ELRS 250 preset helped out a lot, but I don't know about rates. So rates are only going to change what happens when you put a stick input in. When you say slow flying wobbles or bump steer, that makes me think that you don't have enough PID authority, or you don't have a motor and propeller set up that have enough that are matched well enough to give you a quick enough response time to have the quad locked in and flying just dead level. If you level the sticks and that quad moves at all, that's a PID problem. It's typically a mechanical problem, because especially nowadays the stock default PIDs are so aggressive now that you should really look into the mechanical problems first, and then the tiny whoops, for example, right? The tiny whoops on 20,000 kV motors, they will do this. You take them, try and fly outside. At 0 stick, they'll get kicked all over the place by the wind because they don't have any fucking power. Now that we're up to 30 and 32,000 and 32,500 kV, we've got enough power. So at 0 throttle, they are rock solid. But then, Captain Cannoli, you said something interesting. You said, around the center stick feels loose. And what I assume is going on there is when you're in the center of the stick travel, the picture that you're looking at is not moving much, so you expect it to be solid. If you just push the stick a little bit, it just slowly rotates, right? And while it's slowly rotating, you can still see if it's bobbling a little bit. Once you start to really push the stick over and things start to rotate more quickly on the screen, you can't tell if there's any wobble in there because you've got such a violent rotation going on. So yeah, that is what might be going on there. I can't make your center sticks feel less loose. All I can make your center sticks do with rates is make them more reactive or less reactive. So like right now, your center is all the way down at you said 0.8. It shouldn't be a point. It should just be a number. It starts at 10 and it goes up by increments of 10, 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm at 40, right? So the lowest you can go is 10. I'm at 40. So when I move the stick in the center of the stick travel, barely anything happens because I am at a very low center stick sensitivity. So by raising or lowering your center stick sensitivity, when you move the stick just a little bit, you can have a bunch of rotation happen quickly, or you can have rotation slowly build as you slowly push over. So yeah, the word loose doesn't really factor into rates. Hopefully I answered your question, brother. Thank you so much for the super generous super chat. He said, tune is a Brandon's Baked Beans tune. It's mainly stick, just feels loose. The 250 preset really helped. So the only thing that a 250 kilohertz preset could possibly help, and it would have more to do with what you chose in the little drop down. When you do these receiver presets, it gives you a couple different options: racing, freestyle, HD freestyle, cinematic freestyle. As you go down, they add more and more stick smoothing. So if you chose cinematic freestyle or HD freestyle, it added in a bunch of basically stick smoothing and sort of it's delay, but it's stick smoothing. I run a lot of that. So it does it in jitter reduction. You'll see your jitter reduction value is probably like 12, might be 10. I actually run it all the way up at 15. And that jitter reduction is going to smooth your sticks out. So you say it feels loose. Maybe in your brain that's where that looseness is coming from, but that's what's actually happening. The amount of jitter reduction you have, also the amount of RC smoothing you have, it takes your inputs and it smooths them out. So if you're and I'm pretty violent on the sticks. So when I'm violent on the stick, instead of the quad going, it more slowly enters into the move. And so maybe that's what you're feeling. So, yeah, check your other quads, see what the jitter reduction is on your other quads, because it sounds like this one feels different than the others. And if I suspect that your other quads are going to have more or less jitter reduction, because as long as your rates are the same between one quad and the other, they should feel identical. They will feel identical because the PID loop 4,000 or 8,000 times a second is checking and working as hard as it can to keep the quad matching your rates perfectly. So yeah, that's why you run rates, the same rates on all of your rigs. If someone says that like they have a quad that they have to run higher rates on because it feels different, what they're feeling is an over or typically under propped setup that doesn't have a powertrain that's able to deliver the same response time as their other rig that they're used to. And so your rates can feel slower if when you jam the stick, you're expecting an instantaneous rotation and you get a slow acceleration into it. Cool. So yeah, there's the full kind of picture of what's going on. And your PIDs, increasing your PID values like Brandon would have done, more than likely. I'll bet you're not at 1.0 on all your sliders in the PID tab. Increasing the PIDs typically will eliminate the possibility of it being a wobble an uncommanded wobble, unless the PIDs are really pushed and you've got some I-term feedback going on, in which case you can move your I-term slider all the way down, fly it, move it all the way up, fly it, see if it's better on one versus the other. It's the easiest way to check that. So yeah, there you go, brother. Whoa, what's happening here? Okay. How long was it doing that? How long was it, like 1 frame a second like that? What is... I mean, I guess Velocidrone is running. What tricks you guys got questions about? Anything? Anything else? Interesting. I always find it... as I work with more and more people, it's super interesting to me the language that people put to different things happening on these quads, right? I think in this current conversation, I think Captain Cannoli's visualization of loose is different than mine. I think my definition of loose when it comes to the way that FPV rigs feel is different than Captain Cannoli's. And why wouldn't it be? We're trying to describe something that's happening on a camera in the end, right? The camera is showing something, and we're trying to combine that with the reaction to that on between our fingers with a word, right? Like, why wouldn't everybody's definition be subtly different? And yeah, that's one of the hard things about instructing and trying to help people out. I'll explain something to them with a set of words that they just don't get. And this is one of the things that I learned pretty early in instructing at the racetrack way back when, like my 20s, was that I would have to develop like 2 or 3 different ways of explaining something, so that if I hit a student with one explanation and there was a glazed look in their eyes, instead of just repeating it like a jackass, which a lot of people do, you explain it using different words or in a slightly different way. And a lot of times they'll be like, oh, okay, right. And a lot of times, like, it has to do with their background, like, are they engineer minded, whatever. But yeah, that's a thing that happens that's kind of interesting and cool. Felix is sending me. Oh no, is it Grimace? Oh boy, what is happening? Felix sends me the strangest TikTok sometimes. And I always click on them. Always. Every single time. So it's someone on a... Okay.
What's up, guys?
So it's just time lapse. Oh, it's the Grimace birthday shake. Okay. I made the mistake of telling Maggie in front of the kids that McDonald's now has a purple milkshake, and they've got like Grimace advertising all over the place. And now Azalea wants one, I assume is what that text message meant. Cannoli, let me just put the nail in the coffin of this issue here. What's the all-up weight? What's the motor size? What's the motor KV? What's the motor voltage? What propeller are you running? Tell me those 5 things, and I can tell you if your setup is underpropped or it's not. If you've got this looseness and these wobbles, what that means to me, it's not going to be overpropped. It's going to be underpropped. I'm sorry, it's not going to be underpropped. It's going to be overpropped. It's going to be too small of a motor for the all-up weight and propeller. Nobody has other... No, wait. Inverted yaw spins. That was the question. Inverted yaw spins. Inverted jaw spins with a J. It's important to... 24 gram, 35 millimeter tri-blade. Tri-blade's the problem. Put bi-blades on it. I bet you the problem goes away. Tri-blades, if you're going to run tri-blades, make sure they're the new Gemfan really lightweight 1208, 1209. The other tri-blades are too draggy and too heavy. But put Gemfan bi-blades on it, and I bet you the behavior will go away, because with the bi-blades, you're going to get a quicker response time, and it's going to be able to... Well, so here's what I'll say. Doing that will isolate... This is actually... It's like really raining and being crazy windy outside. Yeah, this will isolate if it's tune related or rates related. Put it onto bi-blades, and if it no longer wobbles, you've improved the response time enough that the motors can speed up and slow down more quickly. It's almost like pushing the rate sliders up, to be honest. And if it was wobble that wasn't stick related, the quicker response time will allow it to eat that wobble. And so if you put bi-blades on it and the wobble behavior goes away, then if you go back to tri-blades, the only way to get rid of it is to push the PIDs higher, because the PIDs are timing related. Oh man, Duke's freaking out. Does he want to come down here? Does he want to come down here? He can. Hold on, guys. They can't hear me through the door. Duke can come down here if he'll feel safer. Duke can come down here if he's going to feel safer. I'm assuming he's completely freaking out. Yeah. Come on, buddy. Good. Come on, buddy. Good. Good boy. Good boy. All right. Good boy. Come on in here. It's quiet in here. Yeah, baby. All right, buddy. You're going to hang out with me for the end of the live stream. What do you think of that? Okay? Just relax, buddy. Just relax. He's, yeah. The seizure thing is super scary. He's an old dog, too. He's just old and, like, well, we just kind of tell. He gets, Captain Connolly says, happens on all my quads, though, so I don't think it's the build. It's not crazy but noticeable, just something I'm looking to tweak. I'm a little stoned. That isolates a little. Cool, okay, yeah, if it's happening on all your quads, then it actually is rates related. I mean, I guess unless all of your quads are are overpropped, which could be. CMYK says, how about some lookbacks or inverted yaw tracking? POI, no, we're doing inverted yaw spins. Inverted jaw spins with a J. Here we go. So, inverted yaw spins are all about where you put the horizon. And this is actually not a good map for that because the horizon kind of sucks out there, but we'll do it anyway. So, oh man, it's really hard to see the horizon versus just the sky, but I think you guys can kind of see the horizon out there, right? So the whole point, there's an important thing about inverted yaw spins. Hammer the throttle as quick as you can, turn it over, and you want the horizon there, like 2/3 of the way down the screen. Hammer the throttle, turn it over, and you want the horizon line. Oh, it's really hard to see the horizon when there's stuff in the way. Hold on. Over immediately, horizon line right there. And when you do that, it'll only wobble a little bit. Hold on. Turn it over, horizon line there. And it's different. Oh, you know what? I changed the up tilt on this, didn't I? This is it. Is this at 20 degrees? It sure is. Interesting. So here, let me go to 30. This is what I'm more used to. So at 30 degrees, if you fly 30-degree up tilt, you want to put the horizon line where I was just putting it, which is right around there, and it'll rotate flat, and you won't have to work quite as hard. So if you're at 30-degree up tilt, you put the horizon line. Where's the horizon? I can't tell. Is that the ocean horizon or the? It's not drawing the rest of the ocean. Hold on. Let's go to a map with just trees and shit. Let's just go to whatever. Construction, that's fine. All right. What's up, CiottiFPV? Come on, yo. Let me in. Yeah, so every different amount of up tilt is going to require you to put the horizon in a slightly different spot. And if you're asking yourself why, the answer is quite simple. If you want the yaw spin to rotate completely flat in your camera with only yaw, so only yaw controls this, right? You have to get the rig so it's perfectly vertical here. Well, look at the up tilt. The up tilt is down like this, and the field of view of the camera is like that. So if you put the horizon in the middle of the screen, right? This is the camera, this is the field of view. If you put the horizon dead center and you hit the yaw stick, of course it's going to wobble. Look, it's looking down at the damn ground already, right? You got to get the quad like this, and your up tilt is, and two things, the amount of up tilt and the much less so, but it does make a difference, I think. The field of view of your camera. A really wide field of view is going to be a little bit different than a narrow field of view. But it's mainly the up tilt of your camera. At 30-degree up tilt, the screen is kind of where... I'm going to show you a little bit. I know, buddy, it's scary. I know. It's hard. It's hard to be a dog, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. But now let me kind of show you. So I should have picked a little bit more of an empty map, but we can get this to work. So bring it up, over, and... So, this is... Alright, so it's like roughly there. But this world... See how... Yeah, so that's pretty even there. But now watch this. Now watch this. Ready? Let's go down to 20 degrees. Watch how different it is at 20. You wouldn't think 10 degrees would make such a difference, and I actually have to figure this out. I have to put the horizon... I guess it's lower, right? Oh no, I have to put it more towards the center, don't I? I do. I can put it more towards the center. And now, if you were not watching my sticks because I didn't have the overlay, what I was about to say is if you were watching my sticks, you saw me kind of cheating. You can technically put the horizon anywhere and just add roll in to make it rotate even. It's basically the reverse of an orbit. And in an orbit, if you want to keep the horizon flat and keep going around, you need to mix roll and yaw, right? You can't just roll. You can't just yaw. So you can basically do an inverted orbit and keep the horizon level wherever you want it. So that was close to the middle. Now I'm going to put the horizon down low. I actually have to cross-coordinate in order to do that. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, right, because of the up tilt. Or I can put the horizon up high, and with roll, I can even that shit out. So, but technically speaking, the proper way to do an inverted yaw spin is just yaw. You come up, you pitch down, and you just use yaw to turn it around. Here's the other big thing that gets people on the inverted yaw spin. Is that they go up, they jump off the throttle, they slowly turn over, they get here, okay, I'm ready to do the inverted yaw spin, and they've run out of time. The reason, and there's something that makes that even more important, which is that when you use yaw, it creates thrust. And the harder you use yaw, the more thrust it creates. And it's amazing that the simulator actually simulates that. Ready? So if I just yaw a little bit, will it even let me? Oh. All right. Well, so we'll do it from a hover. So this is the amount of throttle that we need to hover. And if I add a little bit of yaw, nothing happens. But if I add a bunch of yaw, in order to just hover... Oh, does the sim not... I thought the sim replicated that. Alright, well, when you yaw, it doesn't... No, it doesn't replicate it. I always thought it did. Well, when you yaw, it creates thrust. So if you're going to go do something inverted where you yaw, it's going to create thrust. Oh, that's how I can check it. No, it really doesn't simulate it very well. It makes a good amount of thrust too when you yaw really hard. So the whole point behind telling you that is you go full throttle, you chop it, and you get it turned over. Like, you gotta get it flipped upside down as soon as possible so that you can maintain your hang time. And ideally, the way that get out of here, gnats. The way that they look the coolest is when you still have a little bit of upward momentum, because then, like, your camera view, it's just it just adds another layer to it. Come on, man, stop. Get out of here. You're a single-celled organism. Not really. And I don't like to just do them, like, I don't like to do them 360, really. I prefer them, like, as a part of something else, like a little quarter one, and then you kind of do one of those, or I like it kind of going up over this thing, and I actually don't really like them all that much. I personally tend to use them, like, if I come up and I'm mixing roll and yaw, or something like that, like, I can kind of roll into it and just add a little bit of flavor with it. Like, if we're coming up over here, it just kind of, you can just kind of change the, it almost looks like you can change the direction of travel, but, like, you're not, but you sort of fake it. I don't know, it's a neat thing to play with, but just doing it, just, like, coming up here and doing it, like, there's a lot going on. Like, there, and you're upside down, and, like, it's hard to find a subject to look at. To do it with a subject, you can kind of do one of those. That's actually my favorite way to use it. There was a day at my apartment that I put like 6 batteries into playing with this. Like, how can you use a half inverted yaw spin to track an object? What's happening here? Okay, they just cut it off there. Okay, and so yeah, this is probably my favorite way to use it. So you turn over, and then you use it to keep your subject centered. And what you're really doing there is an inverted orbit. Literally. Like, you're literally doing an inverted orbit. And so, hold on. Do you turn into the tree? Do I turn left into the tree? No, I figured it out, but it was a while ago. So you want to turn into the object. Turn into the object, but then you have to yaw in the opposite direction. Hold on. Maybe you turn away from the object. Let me see. Turn away. Oh, so you have to change yaw. That's right. You have to yaw from one side to the other. So you come in. Yeah, you turn into it. You turn into the tree. So on the right side, it's here. And then you just add left yaw. I'm just gonna keep doing them. Oh, and I think I went the wrong side of the tree there. Yeah, that's really it. I like to mix the sticks like that. Let's see, into the tree. Well, you know what's interesting? You can... It'll work on either side. Let me find a single tree to do this. I'm doing this on this, like, weird double cluster. Here's a single tree. So you can let it carry you across. I think I kind of like that more. If you let it make you cross the tree, right? So you start off on the left side, but you throw it over to the right side. I know, Duke. I'm sorry, buddy. There's nothing I can do about the rain, brother. This is the quietest room in the house. I know you're stressed. You have anxiety issues. So do I. I feel you. Try it for yourself. You're going to have to try it for yourself, but now you have the idea behind it. And you just kind of, like, my way of doing it is you just sort of, like, let it hang. And then you kind of, like, pitch forward to get out of it. To be honest, I don't have a great way of getting out of it. I guess you could link it up with a little bit of a, like, rewind kind of movement. Here, let's do it this tree. So, like, you could kind of throw across it and then throw back to it. But you gotta come off the subject a little bit too much and look up at the sky to do that. That's another cool little trick. If you ever fly past something and you want to get back to the other side of it, like you just flew past this thing, you just kind of did one of these. All you gotta do is look at the sky. If you look at the sky, it's gonna just send you backwards, no matter where you are. Look at the sky, throttle, and it's gonna send you backwards. So you start combining that with stuff. You come through this gap, you look at the sky. Oh, nope, I was going the wrong direction. Yeah, you got to look at the sky in the opposite of the direction of travel to do what I'm doing here. So you come over here, you can roll through like that, look back up at the sky, and you can throw yourself back over. And you can do something else. And you can even do it again. Just get up in those leaves. Take advantage of the fake world that we fly in on Velocidrone. Inverted yaw spins look kind of cool like that, I guess. But also, the other thing, too, with yaw making thrust, like we were talking about in the real world, the slower you can do the yaw spin, the less thrust they're going to make. I know that seems obvious, but there's actually more to it than that. It literally makes less thrust cumulatively. When you push the yaw stick, 2 of the motors start to brake and the other 2 speed up. The braking motors are going to do some of the work without creating thrust. But the problem is our motors have just a little bit of braking. They can only brake a little bit, but they can make a shitload of power. So literally the less yaw you put in, the more percentage of the rotation is being generated from braking, motor braking. So yeah, the slower you can lay a yaw spin, an inverted yaw spin out, the more hang time you're going to get. Also, it gives the viewer a chance to catch up with what the hell's going on, because the whole world just flipped upside down and now it's rotating. Why not give them a chance at figuring out, what they're looking at before they spew? The purple prop guards won the poll, 60-40. Wow, a lot of you guys want to see the clear frame, so we'll do that. It's been 2 hours and Duke is totally freaking out, so I'm gonna get him over on the couch and try to calm him down. Let me just really quick. Low Rolling Groove says, "Are the extinct Beta 65 Pro frames worth the hype? Are you sticking with the Meteor 65?" I'll probably stick with the Meteor 65, but we are gonna test the new frame. Whoop Wednesday. I'll see you there. Daniel 1964 says, "What do you think about using 802 30,000 kV on a 75mm build?" Way too much kV. At 27,000 kV on a 75mm build with bi-blades, it's like a bomb going off. Like 25,000 kV is a much more realistic number. 30,000 kV motor limited down to 25,000 kV, you're right at the limit of how much throttle limiting apparently we do and don't want to use. So you can do it, but here really what you want for 75... Stop, buddy, stop. Really what you want for 75 is a 1.5mm motor shaft, and the only 2 motors available with that are 25 and 27,000 kV. With a 1mm motor shaft on a 75mm build, you're going to bend the shit and break the shit out of the motors because of the little skinny motor shaft. Cool. Did we do all the things? 101 tips. And was that 101 tips? It was probably maybe like 98. We did mailbag, we did Q&A. Thanks for hanging, friends. I'm so sorry I was late today, guys. That was super weird. But, I paid for it. Not being in my normal time slot, a lot less people were here. So, but those of you that were here were super generous. If you want to continue the generosity, head on over to CiottiFPV.com. It's got a million different ways you can support me. Patreon helps me out the most, and it helps you out the most. Because you get the most stuff for your money. For $3 a month, that is 7.5 cents per hour a month of content. 7.5 cents an hour of me sitting here screaming and yelling. CMYK, what? He's posting the wrong thing. CMYK ordered something from somewhere and posted a thing. That's great. That was a sticker mule order, wasn't it? Yeah. Support me, or else I'll die. I love you guys. Be good. Here's some flying from Florida, and I'll see you all tomorrow night at 10. June 25th. We got one more week before GB Jabby time. All right, people. Be good. Love you lots. Bye bye. See if this song's any good. No, it's not good. This won't fit at all. This'll fit. Alright, people. Be good. Give you something pretty random. Kind of... Speaking of bobbly, it was a windy day. Later, friends.
Ended up as lovers. How'd it get so ugly? Can't we rediscover, baby, what it was? Or let's be honest, it was just a love bomb. You were so romantic, we were picture perfect. So much freaking passion, why we never got it back, babe? It was just a love bomb. Really wish you didn't push me away.